This is a Samurai Nation podcast on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network. Welcome, everybody. It's another episode of the Cool Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to all the patrons. We got a fun episode planned today. We got a lot of stuff. We got segments. And spoiler alert, we got a guest. All right. I'm so glad to have a guest today. We needed one. We were in desperate need of some more content for the show. And so what better thing else than to have a guest? It's kind of the best thing you can do in a podcast. It's what all the great pods do, and that's what we're doing. And you could say that we're a great pod. I don't know if I would say that, but maybe the patrons are saying it. People out there on social media and Discord and all the places, they love it, and they always come back for more. So thanks for coming back and joining us again for another episode of the Cool Podcast, everybody. So, I already spilled the beans. And I'll let everybody know that we've got a special guest today. Oh, baby. I'm so excited to play this interview. It's a pre-recorded interview type thing that we'll play during the show. We'll cut to, maybe one of these days we'll do a live interview and we'll have a guest on and it'll be some back and forth or something. I don't know. It's up in the air kind of what's going on with the show. Actually, our special guest comes to us from the network itself. From our friend Jeremy has invited him in. He's helping us out. It's sort of a new initiative going on network-wide, where in order to get some promotion from shows that they're having the people on each other's podcasts. That's the thing that happens, to do some promotion, to get some of the cool podcast listeners in listening to some other podcasts. And it says here that I also need to say that all the podcasts on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network, shout out to Samurai Nation, all those podcasts are also available on Spotify. So you can go check out Spotify for your podcasts. That's just what it says to say, and I gotta say it. So anyway, we thank Jeremy for getting this guest on board, for coming over. We're going to talk a lot of pod. This guy's great. He's cool. He's funny. We had a great convo. And maybe hopefully we'll have some other guests on from some other shows, and then who knows what'll happen there. Maybe we'll get some other guests too. That would be cool. That's the thing that keeps it going. It sort of helps mix the fan bases together. And also, we've got the cool stream coming up this week on Sunday. It's the 69th episode. Oh, baby. So check it out on Sunday as well. But we're going to cut to this interview right now as I play the drop. Here we go. It's the interview time. It's time for a special guest interview. Wow. All right, everybody. We got a special guest on the Cool Podcast today. That's right. It's part of a new series that we're doing where we're talking to some fellow podcasters on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network. So we got one right here. We're going to do another hard-hitting interview. So go ahead and introduce yourself and let's talk pod.
Good afternoon, Beowulf. This is Kreb Going Deep. It's a podcast. It's all about the deep dish pizzas that we got out here in the great state of Michigan.
All right, that sounds delicious. So, some viewers that have a keen ear may know you before, but you have a little bit of history with podcasting. You've done some other podcasts, and I know this, but I don't know if everyone knows it. So, what were some other podcasts that you've done?
Well, I think you probably best know me as Kreb from one half of Jack and Kreb, that was used to host the podcast Hot Stuff.
That's right. Yes, I do remember that. I don't know if I listened to any episodes, but we did play a clip of Hotter Stuff, which is Jack and Lurleen, but you were a former host, and you guys...
Downgrade, I don't know, for me.
Well, it is
a little bit of a sore subject. But yeah, but you know, like, I have a love for food, and they do too, and that's good, I guess.
That's great, yeah, and it's good that we've covered on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network lots of different varieties of food. We got chicken wings in one part of the Midwest, and now we've got deep dish pizza in another part.
My two loves, I actually got into it. We met at UNO, University of Nebraska Omaha, go Mavs.
Nice.
In actually our remedial biology class.
Okay.
It was my senior year. Jack was a freshman. He was seated like a row in front of me. I just knew the back of his head. That's about it. The teacher asked, "Who can name a kind of protein?" And I kid you not, we both at the same time said hot wings.
Whoa.
And we were like, dude, yes, and then it happened from there, yeah.
And that's the kind of crazy stuff that goes down in college, where you're just bonding, you're bros, you're going out, partying,
just
drinking.
Hot wings.
Just hot wings.
Actually, I discovered my love of deep dish, Detroit style deep dish pizza. Actually, we actually mistakenly got pizza. The wings from Chester's Casa del Pizza in Lincoln, Nebraska. So I fell in love with it. Jack didn't really care that much. I actually started a blog about it. It's a podcast. It started out as a blog.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the blog called? Is it also?
It's Going Deep with Crab at .blogspot.com.
Okay, and I'm just putting that in here. It doesn't look like it's been updated in a while. Last post was around 2017, so you've, I guess, moved on to podcasting.
Well, we got some irons in the fire still. We got a few things going, but we gotta wait for news to kind of break first,
And you said irons in the fire, but I hope and it sounds like you also have pizzas in the fire, doing deep dish.
Right. That's right, delicious. Yeah.
So, what are some of your favorite spots over there in Michigan?
Well, in Michigan, I live in. So I started out. I actually moved to Ypsilanti, Michigan. That's where I live right now. It's kind of funny. I was really disheveled, kind of after being kicked to the curb for the newer, sleeker model. On the podcast. But I found on Facebook a listing by Little Caesars.
Oh yeah.
They were officially hiring an official deep dish pizza taster. They were hiring someone.
Oh wow.
And they were sending it out on their website and stuff like that. I saw it as a sign from above. I packed up my things. I moved to Ypsilanti. I signed up, and the rest is history.
Wow. So you started out doing at a corporate gig for deep dish pizza. That's an interesting way.
Actually, I didn't get the job.
Oh.
I guess it was like a contest or something, and I didn't get drawn.
Gotcha. And that's something that's been going around these days. They're like contests. They're advertised as jobs. It's a little strange. But
it was a little confusing, but it's good. I have a 1-bedroom apartment. Here in Ypsilanti, it's nice. Yeah. But it was a gift. I got. I was going through the mail. I got. Like coupon day, right? Like those coupons, and there was an ad for Cottage and Pizza. I actually have it framed right over there. But the back of the coupons was a big picture of pizza, and it said, "Who's got the best pizza?" I'll send you a photo of it if you want.
Okay, sure. And what is it called again?
Cottage and Pizza, and they have a deep dish pizza out there that's real good. It's a little bit doughier than you'd want it to be, but it's a really good standard. And of course there's Jets, which is the best as well. I think that's the gold standard. You can get that turbo crust, you can get the Jet 10, tons of toppings. It's wild. And Little Caesars is really good value for your buck. You're gonna get a Detroit style for about $7-8. That's pretty good.
Wow, that is good.
Compared to maybe the more premium prices you might pay. Yeah, that's some of the big ones. Yeah.
So you normally you're trying to find the good value out there, but are there any that are like, the 5-star restaurant, any high cuisine, any, special types of pizza that catch your eye?
I feel like they kind of complicate it, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They put like like the goat cheese on it and stuff like that. And I don't really know, man. I don't know if that's like the best way to serve pizza. Maybe it's best if it's most simple. Buddies is really good. Most of the time, I always try to eat the pizza there.
Mm-hmm.
And like at the Little Caesars, at the Jets, there's like 1 or 2 tables up. Sometimes you gotta wait for someone who's like waiting to pick up their pizza. They're sitting at that table. You're like, hey, I want to eat it right here, man. Can you move?
And then you got to go do a podcast, so it's like
Exactly.
you got to move. And do you do multiple eatings in a day to kind of like get the podcast information going, or how does that work?
Well, I'll sometimes I'll take a bite of one kind of pizza and then a quick bite from another one, and kind of compare them in my mouth. It's kind of a cool way of doing it,
Yeah, like a suicide except with pizza.
That's right. Yeah, we used to do that. Actually, we used to do that with the Hot Wings on the Hot Stuff podcast.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And actually, Hotter Stuff, I'll say this right, Hotter Stuff is a bunch of bull.
Oh.
I was the one that always got the spicier wings.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have the severe damaged esophagus lining to prove it.
Wow.
And his is fine. His is like fresh off the market. It's fine.
Huh. Interesting. So it's like maybe he was playing the long game there of like preserving himself to do sort of the longevity of wing podcasts.
So I have a few. I know you're a relatively new podcast here at the Samurai Nation.
That's right.
You're starting out. I got some tips. Jeremy had me get some tips together for you.
Okay, interesting.
Out a little bit. Yeah. So do some show planning, right? Keep a Google Doc of your plans, but also make sure you know who has access to that Google Doc. Because maybe someone who might not be too happy with you has access to it and knows what restaurants you're gonna go to. Especially calls those restaurants, says, "Hey, can you really undercook the chicken?"
Oh no.
It could happen.
And is that something that happened to you?
Not to me.
Okay.
Not to me. It didn't happen to me. We'll just say that.
Okay. That is, I guess that is something to be concerned about. If you're going around in public, you're eating food all over the place that you live, and you don't know who's going to show up. You're going out in public like that at these different restaurants.
Exactly, yeah. Plan things out.
Interesting. And this is something that Jeremy told you to tell me? Is that?
These are some of my Krebs tips.
Oh, the Krebs tips. Okay, so this is like a little mini segment in the interview.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Another big thing, they kind of want you to sum up your show in one specific sentence, Like,
okay.
Brad eats deep dish pizza. Like, that's mine. What would the cool podcast be in one sentence?
Oh my goodness. Okay. B looks at podcasts and things on the internet. And does it have to be that? Go ahead.
It's a little broad.
Oh, okay. Beowulf finds interesting things for your ears.
That's getting better.
Yeah, and I think, that's a good point. It is a little bit vague. Some of the stuff that we do, and then we kind of came in through the podcasting world a little bit ass backwards, if you will. So that is something we're trying to figure out. What is this podcast? And it sounds like you've got it figured out, which is great.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I've been podcasting for a while now. It's a love.
Yeah. So you guys started out in the early days of podcasting. I don't know how old you are, but starting out in college and doing all that, I wasn't even interested in podcasts back then. So you're an old veteran, I guess.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and also, do you have a co-host? Any co-hosts at all?
No co-host. We do have guests every now and then. We have a
Okay.
few call-ins. We had the Samurai Kid left us a voicemail, which is kind of cool. And he's a big. Do you ever talk to that guy?
Yeah, he's a friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys, know him from back in those days, or?
Oh yeah. Just the greater Samurai Nation universe.
Right. Yeah, and we thank Jeremy. We think about him and we thank him for getting us in the ground floor of the Samurai Nation podcast network. So if you hear from him, I haven't really heard from him in a while. Does he work on your show, or what is that? How does that work?
Well, I am home engineer, home producer, all that stuff. Jeremy is quality control, quality assurance.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That is, that you do need that. So you have to kind of do your own stuff. I'm used to that as well, and we're just kind of getting into some of the behind the scenes stuff at this point of podcasting.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the pizza. What's your favorite topping on these pizzas? What is the go-to?
Topping. So here's another thing that you can do. You want to drum up a conversation, say something controversial, even if you don't believe it, right? Just go for it. I'm going to say, and also get rid of I feel statements, okay? So here's a great example, okay? Any pizza with less than 3 toppings does not deserve to exist.
Whoa. There
we go. And now we've got a conversation. People are mad at me. People want to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Great.
That is true. So you might get some tweets or some angry emails or something based off of that alone.
Exactly.
And so, and what is your favorite topic? We kind of went around that.
Best toppings, I think, bring a little bit of salt and a little bit of savory to it, right? So something like a black olive or an Italian sausage, mushrooms. You throw on maybe a little bit of ham. It's great.
Yeah, and some cheese too, right? You gotta have cheese.
That's right. Oh yeah, you gotta love the cheese. Yeah, I had one that actually is coming out soon. Check it out. We tried the Mexican pizza from Jets. It's a limited time only. It's got cheddar and mozzarella on that bad boy. It's really something.
And does it have ground beef and beans, or I guess what makes it Mexican?
No beans, but it does have, it's got jalapenos. It was a spicy one. It kind of took me back a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Black olives. It had, it had some of the ground beef on it. It also had chorizo on it too. So that's a very kind of a good combination there.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. I don't think I've had a Chicago. Is that the same one? The Chicago one? That's kind of in the same.
So no, Chicago is awful. It's trash.
Oh, no.
It's just a big casserole.
Yeah.
So the Detroit style is the thick crust. It's more of a traditional pizza. It's a dough that is much thicker. And the toppings go basically all the way to the edge of the crust. It's oftentimes a square. It's got the very caramelized corners and sides. They're very crunchy, very delicious.
Yeah, that does sound delicious. The Chicago, it's just like a big casserole. So we want some more of that crispy, delicious goodness.
That's a strong thing to say. That's good.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, if you've listened to the pod before, but I have said some controversial things, and I did get a little bit in trouble, so I'm going to take that advice and try to sort of apply it to my podcast, but you can also go too far.
Did you say something about John Tesh?
Yeah, so that probably...
Yeah, that was an early mistake for us, too.
Oh, no, okay, so you gave out some John Tesh opinions of some sort?
Yeah. We said he wasn't particularly great. We thought he was utterly replaceable on Entertainment Tonight. No, these are just quotes. These are all on the public record, so we can't get in trouble for it again.
Okay.
But we heard from our guys. We heard from him and his people, and we did submit the apology.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's behind us.
Right. Yeah. So you want to stoke the frustrations of the audience and get them riled up, but you don't want to go too big with people like Tesh or any entities like that.
Yeah, you don't want to ostracize any potential listeners, you know?
Yes, that's true. And it all comes down to the listeners, the people listening now. We thank them, and we thank our guest for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
Kreb, you're the host of the Going Deep podcast.
That's right.
Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Whoa, now that was a good interview, and I'm not saying that because I'm like a great interviewer or something. I'm not like Mark Maron or whatever. Mark Maron. It was just a good old time, a good conversation between a couple of podcasters. That was my interview with Kreb from the Going Deep podcast on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network. It's a podcast about deep dish pizza over there in Michigan. I learned a lot about pizza and podcasting. So we thank him. We thank him for coming on the show, talking to us about podcasting, and we'll see what other guests that we can get up in here on the show. So for now, we're going to do some segments because that's what we're doing on the show. We got quite a few segments. We got some good ones. We got some updates, actually. For this next segment, this one, we got some updates. So this segment we're going to do right about now is playing right now. If I can find the drop, I can't see what it says here. Here it is. This next segment is coming up right now. It's the contest corner, everybody. So we're going to look at some contests. So it's the contest corner. Welcome. So our big contest that we've been following, it's what kicked it off for the whole shebang. That's right. It's the Magellan TV, and they're doing a contest where if you can watch enough true crime in 48 hours, you win $1,000. And so my understanding of how it works, and I'll have to go back and read these rules, maybe if I can pull them up or figure out where that came from. Basically, everyone submitted their application online to see if they would get picked to be the person that watches true crime for 48 hours, and then they'll win $1,000. And when I read the fine print, it said that there'd be multiple people picked, and then whoever had to do all that and post about it and post with the hashtag, because that's how you get people looking at your stuff, then they would win the $1,000. I think that's my understanding of it. If I could have the rules pulled up, I could figure out. Really, we could really get into some of the legalese on this. But I thought this was kind of cool that Magellan TV was posting some quotes from their application. And it looks like they have a documentary also about the true power of our poo. What is that about?
The good bacteria that's found in our gut. Well, this clip from our documentary Life on Us will show you the true power of our poo.
No. Poo-poo. Nasty. Anyway, let's look at some of the quotes they have from the applicants. They had so many applications that came in, so they started saying, well, we're a little bit behind, but we've got all these applications, so here's some quotes. And hopefully we'll get some good replies, too, from some repliers here. This one says here, if someone isn't dying or if a wife isn't stabbing her husband, I'm not watching it. One of our applicants. Another applicant here says, my husband has literally warned our friends that if he happens to disappear, they'll never find him because I'm an expert on what to do and what not to do. One of our applicants. She goes on to say, he's kind of right. He better stay on my good side, I think. What? And it's got a skull and crossbones, so you better watch out, because the wives, if they watch too much crime TV, they're gonna start killing people. Whoa. That'd be crazy. Another one here says, if I wasn't such a nice guy, I'd know how to murder someone. One of our applicants said that. Another one here, another quote, I'm a surgeon. That means I've seen the insides of the human body. And I've seen some pretty messed up insides. Okay, so that doesn't speak a lot to the, I guess, crime element of it. Just a surgeon, so that's good. We love the surgeons. The true heroes. I was pen pals with Charles Manson. I also reached out to Tex Watson. He's one of the Manson guys. He gave me scripture, one of our applicants. All right, that's cool. I'm making this video for my own protection. I'm making this video to let you know I did not kill my wife, one of the applicants. These true crime people are freaks. Another quote here. My husband has been working from home, so you know how that goes. And I have 3 boys, so I'm outnumbered. Every day I want to commit a true crime. Oh no. Okay. Here's another quote. My house is right around the corner from the #1 prison for deaths by electric chair. There are other reasons to be proud of where I'm from, but this is the one I always say. That is cool. That's really cool. Let's see if we got any replies here. Here's another quote. I'm neither involved in committing crimes nor solving them, other than when it comes to my kids. Am I right, parents? Amen. String of crimes every single day. What? Other than when it comes to my kids. Okay, that's kind of funny. Talking about solving crimes with their kids when they draw on the walls and stuff. Let's see. They're replying to someone here. Dakota Thomas says that one time I helped arrest Charles Manson, and there's a laughing face. Who better to lead the way in the 24 straight hours of true crime documentaries than me? And this person photoshopped their head onto one of the jail guys who was leading Charles Manson back to jail. That's pretty funny. Charles Manson, cool guy. Really cool guy. Let's see. We got a tweet here from Other Poppins at Magellan TV Docs is posting some of the submissions, and I'm glad I left out who my dad was on my application. Haha, don't need the FBI watching me any more closely. Ha 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 ha. Let's just say mob ties in Vegas are still very much alive and well, unlike some of the people they came in contact with. What? Oh wait, Magellan replied and said, LOL, we will never post who said these quotes, but sometimes there are things that are still better kept secret, but now I'm curious. And then she said the thing about mob ties. Whoa. I'm just waking up now at 1 p.m. from staying up all night watching true crime documentaries. One of our applicants who can relate. And I'm looking for a reply from someone on here that has replied a lot, but I don't see him, so that's too bad. I thought she was going to pop up again. Anyway, that's some of the replies to Magellan TV. And we hope that we're going to hear a little bit more. We want to see who gets chosen. Here's one from Just Jack at Magellan TV Docs. I'm over here pulling the night shift with my son, waiting to hear who won the True Crime Comp, whilst trying to edit a new video for my YT channel. That stands for YouTube. It's currently 4 a.m. and my son's routing for me, and he meant to spell rooting. My son's routing for me, a little baby. And there's a picture of the little baby. It's pretty cute. Aww. And then Magellan TV Docs replies and said, I spy a future true crimes fanatic. We want to know who's gonna win the contest. So we'll be back with some more stuff about Magellan TV contest. That's cool. But now that we're in the contest corner, let's go check out some contest girl winners. We got some winners. It's Linda. She's got the site Contest Girl. Yeah. Let's see here. That she's got the list for May 14th. It looks like it hasn't been updated. And then there's another. This is interesting. There's a page here that says odd entry sweepstakes. Did we do this last time? I don't remember. And no one's here to confirm or deny that happened. When something is odd, I'm like, sounds interesting if it's odd. But none of these look very odd. It's all stuff from this Ladies Culinaria, and it's some different cookware. So that's not very odd. But it does say 69. And speaking of, we got the 69th episode coming up for the cool stream this week. That's going to be cool. Ladies Culinaria. They got some contests going on. Let's see who the winners are for May 14th, which was last week. So it hasn't been updated. But we still have some winners. We'll cheer them on. Lynn KB62 won a Coca-Cola Energy 12 ounce from the Coke Energy Overwatch League sweepstakes, a $100 Visa gift card from the Boost Mobile Mother's Day East sweepstakes, a Final Fantasy VII Remake Trading Arts figurine set from the Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and a hand-sketched digital from the Hotel Xena Mother's Day contest. And congrats to Lynn KB62. Shirley M won tuna for Shirley M won tuna for a year worth $160 from Cloverleaf. Wow. Tuna for a year and it's worth $160? Damn, that's a lot of tuna. How much does tuna cost? Let's see. Tuna. Let's Google tuna. Let's see if it comes up. Tuna can. Let's see how much. And if I was a big fan of the biggest contest, The Price is Right, I would know these answers. 99 cents. Whoa. A can of Starkist tuna, chunk light tuna and water is 99 cents at Target. And this is interesting. This might lead us into our next segment. I didn't even think about this. So that means Shirley M is getting 160 cans of tuna. That's cool. You can make a lot of tuna salad with that, and that's too much tuna also. If you know that, that's pretty funny. All right, let's do a new segment. What? At the end of the show, everyone's checked out. They've already turned off the podcast because we had that great interview. Now's the perfect time to do a news segment, and I've been inspired by what we've been looking at here, and it was also a segment that I wanted to do. So we're going to do this segment, and then we're going to do a super quick segment after that. I'm looking forward to that one too. So let's see if we can knock this out. This is a new segment. Let's check it out. It's a new segment. This is a new segment on the show. Review this. That's the segment. We're going to read some reviews. So the whole last couple days, I've been thinking about what kind of a good segment to do. A lot of weird stuff on the web is all about reviews, and it's not something that we get into on the cool stream, but man, if you find some of this stuff, you're going to find some funny stuff. Google reviews, Yelp, just about anything. You'll find some strange, weird posts and whatnot. And this is the place to find the posts. Nowhere else. No other podcast does this. So we were looking at Starkist Tuna. Remember that on the last segment we just did 5 seconds ago? And I pulled this up. I had another thing I was going to look at. Maybe we'll do that too. We're kind of running out of time, but let's look at some Starkist Chunk Light Tuna and Water reviews. Search user reviews. So we can search the reviews. That's cool. I love having this around for when I want a quick and easy meal or snack. I think it's kind of funny. I'm already patting myself on the back for this stupid segment that we're doing. I think it's kind of funny to read some reviews for a really super basic, normal product that is just ubiquitous, and that's canned tuna from Starkist. I love having this around for when I want a quick and easy meal or snack. Whether it's in a pouch or can, the quality is always consistent. The chunk light in water has nice moisture to it without oil. A good amount of saltiness so you can eat without anything. Ew. You gotta put something in there. But light enough that you can dress it up. They are good about keeping bones out of their product too. All right, we hate the bones. Sometimes I find a tiny one, but these are fish, and realistically, it can be difficult to make sure they are out 100% of the time. It's not gourmet, but for canned seafood, the flavor is good, and I find comforting. That's from Mandy K from Influenster.com, and that's a website that we got to check out. Influenster. Holy moly. Now this is where we're going to find some reviews. This is a website, it's called Influenster. 42 million product reviews from people just like you. Whoa. This is perfect for the new segment. And since we're looking at tuna, and I gotta admit, I used to be a huge tuna head. I loved the tuna. I might make some tuna patties this week. But I reached a point where I was eating one of those kind of bachelor type meals, and I wasn't watching the show. I was just living my normal life. I had a tortilla, and I had a whole big giant thing of tuna with a mayo in it, and I just ate that as a wrap, and it was disgusting. It was too much damn tuna. And I said, never again. I'm never eating this ever again. Tuna patties, though, no, you can't eat those. Those are good. You get some spice to it. Eating it just straight up is just not... It's not good. So how about Swedish Fish red candy? Now this is a candy. This is one that I didn't really sample much of this as a youngster. Didn't really have it. Didn't really interested in it. The last couple years though, Swedish Fish are coming back for me, and they're hitting. They're kind of hit different these days. They're pretty dang good, I gotta say. Swedish Fish candy. Got a bunch of reviews. A great product for large gatherings. This is one of the reviews from Maddie A. The large bag provides a lot of Swedish fish, but the resealable top is great for weekend trips. I also buy one for my friends and I, or family if we go away for the weekend. All right, so you go on a road trip, get some Swedish Fish. 2 stars, oh no, from Mara S. I love Swedish berries, so I had high hopes for these guys. I'm not going to sing that song. I must admit there were a few flavors I was not into. I will just stick with the classics from now on. I don't know Swedish berries. Is that like a fruit or something, or is that a different candy? This is my absolute favorite candy. It's hard to turn down a bag of Swedish Fish. The mini ones are a perfect package size for a quick, sweet treat. They're also awesome chasers for vodka. What? Anita C. She's getting effed up over there, drinking vodka. All these reviews are great. 5 stars. I'll find some bad reviews, or mixed reviews at least. We're looking at 3 stars. Somebody with a complaint about some of these products, but let's see. Anita C. What is she? She's an influencer. And let's see if she's got any good reviews, if there's any other ones. I guess if there's a way I can figure out how to search for lowest rating. You can only search highest rating or newest products. So I don't think they want you to see the bad reviews. And this is all stuff that you see, again, like tuna. We're talking Reese's, Doritos, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Goldfish, Lucky Charms, all your favorite brands, Nutella, Lindor. I mean, what the heck? What kind of... Who would give a bad review to Twix? I mean, come on. If you don't like Twix, you're just not going to eat it. You're just like, not a fan. I'm looking through Anita's reviews. And she is just... Woo, she is given 5 stars across the board. You must get, like, paid money for this. Uh-oh, here we go. She's got a bad review. She's a beauty junkie expert, level 4. And this is a review for Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. What? That sounds weird. Urban Decay Perversion. It's perverse. So anyway, she gave 3 stars, so I don't really feel like reading that. I think I want to get to the next segment. We'll come back to Influenster. I think I have looked at this before. You can read the reviews for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, how could you not give 5 stars to M&M's, Airheads, Doritos? Just scrolling through here, all the stuff basically engineered and by all the product scientists for the last 50 years, engineered to be the perfect snacks that you know and love. And how could you give a bad rating to a Funyun? Come on. I love the Funyuns. All right, let's do the last segment. This is going to be a quick version of this segment. This is kind of cool. This is a quick segment. I'm going to just jump over here as a quick segment for some gushers. We're doing a quick gush. We're going to gush real quick because our friend Chris Joyce, baby, whoa, he's back. And he's retweeting himself. And he's got all of his videos. So let's just go to the one at the top from May 14th. It's about CEOs or something. I want to know what he's got to say. It's a quick gush because we're not getting into the gushers, but we are looking at Chris Joyce, who's the CEO of Gusher.
As a founder, as a CEO, how do you know it's the right time to start a venture? How do you know it's the right time to start a new business? How do you know it's time to start anything? Quite literally, anything. I've been asked that question a lot recently.
How do you know it's time to start a podcast?
I'm going to give some clarity on this right now. Here's how you know. If the thought makes you want to puke, it's time to start. If the thought makes you excited, it's time to start. If the thought makes you fearful, it's time to start.
Makes you want to puke.
If you can't let go of the idea in your head, it's time to start. If you wake up and it's your first thought, it's time to start. If it's your last thought right before you're going to sleep, it's time to start. If you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it, it's definitely time to start. If it's a never-ending, nagging voice in the back of your head, it's time to start. If you get insanely angry at yourself for not starting it, it's time to start. If you know you can do better, it's time to start. If you feel like you're meant for something greater, it's time to start. If the market is up, it's time to start. If the market is down, it's time to start. If there's inflation, time to start. If there's deflation, time to start. If there's stagflation, haven't heard that for a while, it's time to start. If there's a recession, it's time to start. If there's a depression, it's time to start. If there's a boom, it's time to start. If you're happy, you've got a great life, it's time to start. If you're sad, lonely, depressed, and your life is in the crapper, it's time to start. If you don't have enough money, it's time to start. If you don't have enough time, it's time to start. If you don't have the right equipment, time to start. If you don't have
if you don't have, you can start a business whenever the hell you want, I guess.
If you don't have the resources, whatever those are, it's time to start. If you don't have, listen to this one, the balls to start, it's time to start, well, because they appear magically when you start. You get it? You see?
So starting a business only for guys is what I'm figuring out. You gotta have balls. Oh my gosh. So you pretty much just, it doesn't even matter. If you have a business idea, do it. There's no bad idea, just do it. And it doesn't matter. If you need employees, go on Gusher and get you some free employees and all that stuff. Go to Kickstarter.com. Doesn't matter. You can do a business. All right, let's do like a little wrap-up segment. Let's do this little wrap-up segment here. It's been a fun show. This is the wrap-up part. This is the wrap-up segment. We had a great interview. Oh, whoa, it was fun. Our friend Kreb from the Going Deeper podcast, who's talking about deep dish pizza. It's on the Samurai Nation podcast network, just like us. We had an interview and it was fun, and we thank him for being on the show. Check out his show, Going Deeper. Check out Hotter Stuff with Jack and Lurleen. And maybe we'll have some more guests on next week, some other podcasters. We got to talk a little shop, and that's always good. We got some advice from Jeremy, and that was good. If you think it's time to start a podcast, time to start. If you have a friend and you want to talk about stuff, it's time to start. If you have a microphone, it's time to start. If you don't have a microphone, this is my Entrepreneurs for Podcasts. If you don't have a microphone, you can use just your iPhone and post it that way. It's time to start a podcast. All right, that's my message for everybody. Get in there. Maybe you'll get on the Samurai Nation podcast network. Try it. Send in your pitch. Do your pilot show just like I did. It's time to start, everybody. It's time to start and let your dreams run wild and have some fun. Hope you enjoyed the show. I sure as heck did. I had a lot of fun doing the contest, doing the gushers as you always do, and listen to that interview. That was cool. So we'll be back next week for another episode of podcast. Let's go ahead and do the outro. We'll be back next week for another episode of the Cool Podcast. But thanks for listening for now. Thanks for being a patron as well. And go ahead and check out
The Cool Stream
coming up on Sunday, baby. It's going to be episode 69. Yeah, nice. All right. We'll be back next week for another episode of the Cool Podcast. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Oh.
That was a Samurai Nation podcast on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network.
There's no good time. There's no right time. There's no perfect time.